All right.
110?
110.
110.
Yeah.
110.
This was gonna be about competitiveness and
Pros and cons, kinds of competitiveness.
what it's done for us. How we deal with our competitive sides. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All right. So y'all go ahead and talk.
So I think competitiveness is a necessity.
Wait, should we?
No,
do you
no,
think we
don't
should?
do that.
Just wait.
What? Oh,
So after.
I guess. Should we put it on like a Richter scale of competitiveness? Like what?
Richter scale?
Yeah.
Like for earthquakes?
Like a healthy kind of competitiveness to like
5 out of 10.
I was thinking like athletes. We should put it on one to the other.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, what do you mean?
Like the competitiveness of like there's Michael Jordan's competitiveness, not just in basketball, but it's fucking gambling, where that could be.
But also his from what I heard, his competitiveness led him to being like a sore winner.
Yeah, pretty
And
much.
he would talk shit to people and put people down and stuff. And I think that's toxic. It's just that's like an extreme version of competitiveness. Toxic competitiveness.
He turned to a bully.
Yeah.
Right.
Compared to like, I don't know, like Tom Brady or Joe Montana or somebody else like
Right.
that.
Where
Yeah, I'm
you're
just throwing
competitive.
those ideas. But it could be somebody different like Muhammad Ali or
Right. Competitive but fair and
humble
yeah.
as can be. They're competitive, but they're competitive in the right way. They don't just let it be their only driving factor. They don't let it get too out of hand. Especially when they lose, they're not sore losers. They know how to just
That's in
take the L and whatnot.
That's in sports, but in real life, every day we're like competing with our coworkers and we're competing in traffic.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We're competing like all the time online.
Mm-hmm.
We're competing at work. We're competing with our friends. I guess depends on what kind of friendships you have. Competing with your family members.
Yeah, if you got a friendship where you're always trying to one up each other, that's toxic.
Kind of like a bad.
Yeah,
That's a
that's
toxic
bad
friendship.
competitiveness. Unless you want to like make each other better or something.
Yeah, but
That's more in the sense of like a rivalry.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's necessary because if you're always passive.
So look, I think we live in a society where right now being competitive is like, oh no, you don't need to be competitive because
Right.
we're all
equal.
and you see what that's done to the younger
They're like,
generation.
it's too aggro, it's too aggressive.
Yeah, like they don't care. You know what I'm saying? They can't handle pressure, because
Right.
they don't get put under any pressure anymore in school about, hey, who's gonna win this game today? Who's gonna
The trophies are given to everybody.
Yeah.
That's why we got to keep it real with our chess trophies.
So you think that competitiveness is necessary in people?
Yes.
Why?
In order for our society to continue being free.
Basically iron sharpens iron, bro. Like, you need the competition with another person to kind of like make you, not only yourself grow, but everybody else grow. And in that sense, you make society grow. And somebody else's failure in trying to one-up somebody else's success, they turn into like Elon Musk or somebody. Or like Amazon, or, I'm just throwing these guys out there just because of how a lot of people laughed at their ideas, but yet look at it now.
I just heard the other day
later.
that they didn't do it. They're just like CIA placements.
Mm-hmm.
Like Bezos didn't really create it. Zuckerberg didn't really create it. They're just these actors and shit.
I think that's a lot of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if it's true, then there's a lot of companies. Capitalism is still a good thing because that's why we still have like competitive.
Capitalism is what invents new shit. Capitalism is what keeps people wanting to invent more technologically advanced things. Because hey, I want to one up what the last woman did. You know what I'm saying?
Well, remember what the local gas stations did back in the day? Like they used to compete with gas prices back in the day. Like lowering them with each other to try to see who can come to their store more than the other local store.
Right.
And that was a good fair competition, just fair between the stores, so they can be able to get different people to come to them, and different loyalty fan people if you want to look at it that way. But also good for us as common people because we can find cheaper gas.
Right. And then, but then at some point they decided, let's jack it all up and keep it around the same.
But that's because they wanted to keep it equal. They stopped competing with each other. Try to all make a profit instead of saying, one should, just see who's the top gas company.
Right. So we need that competitiveness back in economy too, because if they're not being competitive, then they start working together, and that's not good for us.
No.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and it just so that as a species, we can continue to live and thrive and grow. If we're not competitive with animals or whatever, we wouldn't never got to where we are.
Yeah.
But there's a level to it. You know,
Right.
you can't be over competitive. Like, you gotta just be number one in every fucking thing that you do. It's like, you know, kind of be humble with it and accept, you know, you're not gonna be number one in everything.
Right. What about competing with yourself?
Well, yeah, the competing with yourself, that can also, you can go overboard with that quick, because
Right.
the thing with that is that you wanna keep telling yourself that, hey, I can do better today than I did yesterday, or even though I did good, I can continue to keep doing good. Sometimes when you don't end up, when you take an L, you're too hard on yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's probably a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people they don't know how to walk the fine line of competitiveness and humility. So when things don't go their way, and because they're not humble, their whole world starts crashing down. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now they're letting all these other negative thoughts affect them, whereas like a day ago they were they were able to hey man, I'm dodging and weaving, you know what I'm saying, I got my light worker stuff going, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
but because you take one L and you can't just eat it like, hey, you know what, yeah, I fucked up, or yeah, what I did was stupid, you know what I'm saying, like yeah, you end up just beating yourself up, you know what I'm saying, and
Right.
Some people, they beat themselves up for a day, some people beat themselves up for a week, some people beat themselves up for a month, and it's like, well, you definitely just lost all progress almost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So all because you can't you're too competitive. You know what I'm saying? You're too competitive.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And that's where I think you gotta be consistent and committed on what you want to do. Like if you have like a goal and you compete for it and you lose, you gotta be committed to it so bad that you're just gonna take that L, learn from it, and keep going. You gotta be consistent enough to not fall back after something like that. You pick yourself up and you just keep going.
Yeah, with competitiveness comes perseverance. Where it's like, hey, I'm gonna keep going, even though I took an L today, or even though it looks like this is gonna be a pretty rough task, pretty hard task. So what? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do it because, hey, you got perseverance. I'm gonna persevere, and I'm gonna keep on pushing.
Yeah. There's a difference in saying, like, let's say you lose to somebody. There's a difference in saying, like, I'm gonna make myself better because I'm gonna beat that motherfucker, or instead of saying, you know what, I'm gonna learn from this,
Right.
and one day he's not gonna beat me again.
Right.
There's a complete difference of, like, there's one that says, like, I'm not gonna accept this loss, and I'm gonna drive myself because of that one primary thing.
That's your
Honestly,
pride leading your
Yeah.
competitiveness.
And then the competitiveness is like, I'm gonna learn from this, but I'm gonna learn enough to where nobody will beat me in that same exact way.
Right.
You're learning from it and you're accepting of it. There's another one where you don't accept it and you're just
Right.
like, I shouldn't have lost that way. But you still did.
Yeah, like for example, there's times on the chessboard where Chris, he'll land the royal fork on me, or he'll trap my queen, and you know what? I'll be thinking about that shit the rest of the day. How could I? And not like, oh fuck Chris, but in how could I be so stupid to leave pieces hanging like that? And yeah, once it gets to the point where you stop cringing and being like, oh, that was so stupid, when you get to the point where you're like, hey, yeah, I made a mistake, but I'm definitely not gonna make that mistake again. You know what I'm saying? That's the fine line. You know what I'm saying?
Or try not to. I mean, shit still happens.
Not perfect. What is it? Peyton Manning has like a weird ass saying, but he's always like, short-term memory is always good for a quarterback. And it's like in the sense of like when you throw an interception, when he calls a fumble, it's good to like just forget about that play and he just on to the next one.
Well, for anything, you know what I'm saying? It's like you always say during the chess match, after you take a win, hey man, you know what, that win done happened, it's in the past now. The next match is happening right now, so you're only as good as your last match. You know what I'm saying?
Right. All that matters is the gift of the present.
Yeah, because that's what they call it, the present, because it's a gift.
It's all wrapped up for you and shit. But what about competitiveness, like competition and love? I think reality TV made love a bad competition.
Yeah, it sure did.
And I think it made like some women and men fight each or compete for like toxic.
Or want to be fought over. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
like they want to be competed over.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Like,
saying? Yeah.
we're not. Nobody's watching this. Like, why are you acting like this reality TV and shit?
Because,
Well, because they like the attention.
yeah, that's pretty much it.
And they can't be humble with it. And they're and then because of the attention they see other people who are either just as pretty or maybe prettier getting attention. Now they get competitive. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go and find a way to get, a little slower than humble. I gotta find a way to, you know what I'm saying, to one up that person. You start competing for nothing but attention. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then,
that's like negative energy.
Yeah, I mean, you're basically talking about social media where everyone does everything. Everyone goes places, checks themselves in, takes selfies, post these, motivational shit that they, that they're not doing themselves. Why? Just because they're trying to pretend, that they're trying to put it out there. Like, look at me. I'm this. I'm the cool person. I'm the athletic person. I'm the philosophical person. I'm the whatever person. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's hilarious. It's like when fine chicks, they be like thought, and then they'll put like a random quote that makes no sense.
Yeah.
You're like this. You're trying to be smart and dumb at the same time.
Hey, shoe on both. Shoe on both feet. Whatever. The same. There's dudes that do the same shit.
Yeah. I'm thinking I might do the same shit.
Like they'll do the usual mirror pick, and they got like they're trying to pretend they got something, and they're like, accept yourself for all your bullshit. It's like, what?
Flaws. It's like, bitch, you're fucking 10.
You can't. Yeah, you clearly want everyone to look at your flaws or whatever, bro. Like, it's like put that shit away. You know what I'm saying?
What's that called? Fishing for compliments.
Yes.
That comes from like being competitive, like if you're winning or something.
Yeah, bro, and that's what people do when they go to work, treat it like a fashion show or something. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, yo, you're here to work or you're here to get looked at. Once again, are you here just because you want likes? You know what I'm saying? Like, What are you gonna get out of that? Nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Online, what do they mean? They mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless you're on YouTube, and you're making some profit off of a YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But hey, man, other than that, you really just. You're working for free almost, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're stressing yourself out to compete with people who don't even give a fuck about you.
Yes, thank you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's wild, man. It's wild. But
you can take that with any like sports athlete. They spend so much time trying to chase the clout to try to get exposed, and it's kinda like, bro, and I've told this to anybody, you got the talent, they're gonna come find you. They're gonna come
talent talk.
Let your talent talk, and people will talk for you. You don't need to post it on Instagram or shit like that. Somebody else will post you on Instagram, and somebody from a scout somewhere will look at that and go, who the hell is this guy? And they come and look for you. They'll find you. But you have to be able to put in the work inside of the gym, or inside of the work, or inside of the library, or inside of your workplace, wherever the fuck it is that you're at. You have to be driven inside of yourself to compete with everybody else. And so certain people want they get their pay deducted, or they want a promotion, and they want that promotion somebody else got, that different position somebody else got. And it's like, well, what the fuck are you doing? Are you going out partying on the weekends? Are you going out, trying to hit the books, or trying to, make the quotas, or you trying to hit, everything that your bosses are trying to tell you? Are you trying to impress, the right people instead of trying to be a clout chaser online? What are you putting in the work inside of yourself to gain that?
Right. Now, going back to competition and love, I think a little bit of competition and love is good because you want to be, you don't want to give up. Like, you still want to, like, I'm assuming, I'm not in a relationship, but from what I've seen people in relationships, you gotta still be kind of like you still gotta try.
Yeah. I've always said, like I used to be those guys that would look at a girl who was getting too much attention. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'll never be able to compete with those guys. Like, how many times have you heard yourself say that?
Right.
But it's like, hey, man, sometimes the fact that you have the balls to know that, you know what? I mean, yeah, I'm competing, but I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna show out pretty quick. I'm gonna put those dudes who've been putting in work for months. I'm gonna put them to shame in a couple of days. You know what I'm saying? You have to have confidence in yourself, and that competitiveness will keep you sharp. You know what I'm saying? That competitiveness all of a sudden will make you be a little sharper with your game. You know what I mean?
You think there's a difference between competing with others and competing with yourself when it comes to something like that? Like, competing with yourself in the sense of, like, not being lazy, not getting comfy in your relationship, so that way she's not looking. To where it's like, you're doing everything, but yet, you still feel like you're competing with other dudes for attention.
Yeah, see, I don't think you can control I mean, because there's no way you can control. Like if she starts
That's
to
an
look,
insecurity thing. If you
Yeah,
if
I
you
mean,
if
you
you
can't-
still feel that you have to compete with other dudes after you got the chick, you know, hey man, like
That's what I'm saying. There's a difference between
Then
doing that and
she's
competing
not.
with yourself in it. Like, you know, you just try not to be that lazy bum.
right? If you're just competing with yourself and you're just trying to be better than your previous self, I think that's probably the healthiest. Like not comparing yourself to other people, just compare yourself to your like your, like well at least you know I'm doing better than I was, you know.
a few months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to be able to say, you want to be able to look back every month or two and be able to say, hey, you know what, I know more now than I did 2 months ago. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The me from 2 months ago would not be able to handle the shit that I just handled. You know, a
Yeah,
couple
I think
days
that's a
ago.
better way of saying than how I just said it. But yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
I mean, but you know, it's one of those things too. You know, you do have to be able to, and like you said, in relationships, you do have to be able to in a way, pull your man and your woman every day. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
you know, there's that phrase. You know, if you don't compliment your woman and your man, you know what? The chick or the dude at the gas station sure will. You know what I'm saying?
And work and shit.
Exactly, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, hey, you know, like don't just think, don't just think because you got the trophy, you know, in the form of a ring and whatnot, and you know, you got a place together. Don't assume that, oh, okay, I'm gonna start working for it now. No, bro,
You still gotta be competitive.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? You gotta stay on your shit. You gotta know in your head,
Yes.
hey, you know, it's not that my chick is unloyal, but hey man, dudes can still come after her, bro, and I wanna be able to be able to, hey, you know, okay, you know what, be able to get a, you know, I don't know
She
how-
should know that she has everything already.
in a way,
She
yeah,
just need
you
to-
know.
So basically, you're being consistent and committed.
Right. In all aspects
Mm-hmm.
of the like, you know, being confident, but then like I don't know, man. This just seems hard. Relationships.
It's a lot of balances you gotta learn. And the same thing with competition. There's a lot of balances you have to learn in and of itself.
I think certain times at work you shouldn't be competitive, like because
Oh, I can tell you an instance.
Go
You know, cause so when I've been working where I work for a minute, right? And I guess I have a little bit of a reputation there as like a dude who handles his shit and you know is known as whatever. You know, like hey yeah, that dude Vino, he's a hard worker.
responsible.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. He handles his shit. And I remember there was a little while where we were getting these younger dudes and they were new and they were coming in there with their young muscles and you know throwing all these bosses around and you know what, I ain't gonna lie, my competitiveness / insecurities made me kind of be douchey to them. You know what I'm saying? Like I would see them as a threat. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I would try to outwork them. You know what I'm saying? But then my dumbass, when they realized, bro, these motherfuckers will do the job that you're trying to do for you because they're the ones who have to, in a way, prove themselves. You've already done that. What the fuck are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, you know what? Yeah, you know what? So that's when I started being more open to like, yeah, who else is gonna show up here one day and step up and take over the role of people saying that motherfucker handles his shit. You know, we can depend on him. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna, you know, he's gonna do the job the way it should be done. You know what I'm saying? Without needing to be told anything. You know, like, to this day, I'm still waiting for someone to show up. You know what I'm saying? Like we have, you know.
So those two young cats that were all muscles and shit, they didn't end up being.
They ended okay because you know they wanted to move. You know, a lot of dudes show up. They want to move up in the company quick to get extra, you know, to get more money fast. You know what I'm saying? But I was blessed to be able, when I started early on, to know that hey, you know, if I'm able to stay here consistently, you know what I'm saying? I can make a pretty good because you know I get a raise every good while. If I'm here after a little while, I can make good money. Just a part-time. I can make full-time money on a part-time job, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. You know what I mean? And it's a good thing to me. And yeah, and if I had and if I had still had that mindset where I'm too competitive and insecure to where I got to prove that these young cats ain't shit or these new, you know, whatever, I probably would have already fucked myself up to a point where I couldn't go to work consistently. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to. But like I said, that's not being competitive with myself. That's being competitive with these new guys. You know what I'm saying? Trying to prove that.
Against science.
Trying to prove some bullshit like I'm the man. Like, come on, bro. Like, yeah, I was like, what am I thinking here, bro? Like, I should just be happy that I can come here, do my job, and get the fuck out. I should be here trying to put more work on myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't pay me extra to do more work. You know what I mean?
Real
So
tough.
yeah, you know, I that was my journey with competition there, where I learned like, hey, you gotta, you know, and then also my chess, you know, playing chess. I had to learn how to be, you know, obviously, you know, competitiveness comes natural. You know what I'm saying? When you get into chess, you know what I'm saying? You want to win. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to get your pieces taken. You don't want to lose your queen. You want to blunder, all that bullshit. You don't want to get mated. So it took a lot of a lot of times of me being mad and wanting to go back to the next game after losing, of me knowing and me losing all over again, knowing that hey, your competitiveness got the best of you because all you wanted to do was get a piece back or get your lick back,
right.
and look what it caused you to do. You lost 2-3 games in a row. You know
right.
what I'm saying? And all you had to do was really take it slow instead of just thinking aggressively. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I used to be super aggressive early on.
Yeah, and I've learned too that especially don't take it as it's not a bad thing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like you for the most part when I play with people, I've learned that most people who are big fans of chess, chess community online is a big community. A lot of people don't have people to play with physically. That's why these chess apps are so big. A lot of people don't have real life friends, which is kind of sad. So
and that got worse because of the pandemic.
And I had to remind myself that I'm blessed that I do have real people to play with. So I don't want to ruin it by being the kind of guy that no one wants to play with because I'm a sort of loser or a sort of winner, right?
Right.
I start doing dumb shit. You know what I'm saying?
People saying, oh,
yeah. I start, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like, I want to play with.
But you don't want somebody that's not competitive at all because it'll be boring and shit.
Yes.
There's a balance.
There's a balance.
Being competitive and being, just at the right level.
And so, I've learned now to not all the time, right? I still have to catch myself sometimes when I'm too competitive in chess. Sometimes when I lose, if I get mated, I should be able to look at that mate and say, yo, that was a nice mate, and be able to smile and say, you know what, this is nothing in the world, it's a chess match, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not, you know what I mean? And yeah, it's all good, we're gonna shake hands, get up, and you know what, play another one, or you know what, play the next day. Hopefully if you got mated, hopefully you remember what you did wrong, motherfucker, so you don't get mated again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so my competitiveness had to be molded. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, a balance. You know what I'm saying? You gotta find a balance between being competitive. That I want to win, but not to a point where I want to win to the point where I'm gonna let my emotions get the best of me. I'm gonna let my insecurity get the best of me. You know what I'm saying?
Don't compete with parents either. Like if you have a kid and y'all are separated, don't try to compete with like.
Yeah, I'm the victim of that, bro. My parents competed a lot for me, and it did fuck me up as the kid because I was the one getting fought over, and that's not right. It's not right to see your parents compete over you. That fucks you up. Your parents are supposed to be people you see as a unit. You know what I'm saying? And it fucked me up to always see my dad trying to like say, hey, if you come live with us, me and your stepmom, we'll buy you a PlayStation, and you know what, all this will be good, and like he basically started bribing me to go live with him, bro. And obviously, but I had more love for my mom. I was a mama's boy. You know what I'm saying? Probably,
it's just natural.
I still am. You know what I'm saying? But
I think it's just natural.
But bro, that kind of shit fucks me up because it's like I realize now that I'm older, I'm like, man, if I ever do that to my kid, I be like, what kind
now you know not to.
What kind of asshole would I be?
Right. For sure. Yeah, because man, that's some toxic shit right there. It doesn't befit anybody.
Hell
it doesn't
no.
help anybody.
And that makes everyone all around in the situation look bad. You know what I'm saying? And who suffers? The child. The child.
I mean, you too, but especially the kid. Yeah, that's pretty good, man. Competitiveness. Hey, what you gonna talk about your 3 C's? You gonna drop that real quick?
Yeah.
3 C's is you got a can you get your phone? Oh no, you can't. Well, basically, it's 3 words. It's when you want to start something, you got to go or obligate. You got to make an obligation or a commitment.
Commitment.
A commitment is where it starts off with.
Right.
It's a commitment to like let's say you want to lose weight. Let's say you want to drop 30 pounds. Okay.
We want to get raised.
You got to be able to be committed to this obligation, full force, no matter what.
Right.
Once you make that commitment, then you got to be consistent. And the consistency is working out, eating right. Do that every single day for, let's say, a month, 2 months, and see what the results get you.
Right.
You made the commitment that you're going to drop 20 pounds in a month or 2. Now you got to be consistent with the actions of what you do. Go work out every day, eat right, do all this.
Mm-hmm.
But all that, you're also having to compete with yourself. Because you're always having to contemplate or compete with the fact of like, I want a dessert. Or I deserve this, or I want this, but I have a goal in that. Have I made that goal yet? No, you're competing with yourself to reach that, like, say, that weight goal.
Because, like, part of you is, like, wants you to lose.
So what are the 3 C's again? Only
commitment.
Commitment, consistency. What was that one?
Competition.
And compete.
Compete.
You got to be able to compete.
Compete with yourself.
To stay. All right.
It ain't always got to be, like, an opposite force, but or it really has to be an opposite force, but it doesn't have to be a person. It doesn't have to be, an organization or something like that. You know, it doesn't have to be an enemy. It could be just yourself. You know,
Right, they're like, don't try to
compare
like
yesterday.
compete with the devil all day.
I think you could even rearrange it to say commitment, competition, and then consistency. Because you have to be, you know, once you make your goal, you gotta tell yourself, I'm dedicated to the fact that I'm gonna compete to be the best at this with this goal, you know, or at least my best at this goal. And then after that, you gotta stay consistent with those commitments that you made.
However you want
to be
Nah,
competitive.
I'm gonna do it another way. I'm gonna say competitive first because that's the title of the episode.
And with that, we have episode 110.
Love y'all, man.
Yay,
See y'all next
yay.
time. One. Peace.